William Faulkner was a Nobel Prize-winning American author and one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. His reputation is based on his novels, novellas, and short stories. Born in New Albany, Mississippi, September 25, 1897, Faulkner was raised in and heavily influenced by the state of Mississippi, as well as the history and the culture of the South as a whole. When he was 4 years old, his entire family moved to the nearby town of Oxford, where he lived on and off for the rest of his entire life. Oxford was the model town for many of his writing. Faulkner was greatly influenced by the history of his family and the region in which he lived. Mississippi marked his sense of humor, his sense of tragic position of blacks and whites, his characterization of Southern characters and timeless themes, including fiercely intelligent people dwelling behind the facades of good old boys and simpletons. Unable to join the United States Army because of his height, he was 5 foot 5 inches, Faulkner first joined the Canadian and then the British Royal Air Force, yet did not see any World War I wartime action. In 1929, Faulkner married his teenage sweetheart Estelle, and they made their home in Oxford, Mississippi. In the early 1940s, Howard Hawks invited Faulkner to come to Hollywood to become a screenwriter for the films Hawks was directing. Faulkner happily accepted because he badly needed the money, and Hollywood paid well. Some of his screen films include The Big Sleep, To Have and Have Not. He became good friends with Hawks and with actors Humphrey Bogart and Lauren Bacall. From the early 1920s to the outbreak of World War II, when Faulkner left for California, he published 13 novels and numerous short stories, the body of work that grounds his reputation and for which he was awarded the Nobel Prize at the age of 52. This incredible output, mainly driven by his need for money, includes some of his most celebrated novels, The Sound and the Fury of 1929, As I Lay Dying of 1930, and Light in August of 1932, just to name a few. Faulkner is known for an experimental style with meticulous attention to diction and cadence. In contrast to the understated, his contemporary Ernest Hemingway, Faulkner made frequent use of the stream of consciousness in his writing and wrote often highly emotional, subtle, cerebral, complex, and sometimes Gothic or grotesque stories of a wide variety of characters. Faulkner served as writer-in-residence at the University of Virginia from 1957 until his death. In 1959, he suffered serious injuries from a horse riding accident and died of a heart attack at the age of 64 on July 6, 1962. William Faulkner, novelist, short story, and poet. His genre is credited as Southern Gothic, and literary movements that he spawned was modernism and the stream of consciousness. Having won 2 Pulitzer Prizes, his best notable award is the Nobel Prize for Literature. He was one of the most influential writers of the 20th century. His reputation will live on, and his influence in his body of work.